You ready for tonight's Utah State basketball game?
Step back, got it!
With longtime voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, and one of USU's best ever, Jalen Moore, breaking down the game. Plus, feature interviews with players and coaches, and all the information on the college basketball scene. KVNU Aggie Game Day is brought to you by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, LSS Insurance, Young Truck and Trailer, DD Auto and Salvage, My Mattress, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Elements Restaurant, White Pine Funeral Home, Les Olson Company, Prodigy Brewing, Cache Valley Bank, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Daryl's Appliance, HSA Depot, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, Thermo Fisher, Primrose Home Care, and Golden Spike Electric. It's the KVNU Aggie Game Day pregame show.
And it is time tonight to set up a really, really big Mountain West game with Nevada coming into the Spectrum against the Aggies. That'll be at the top of the hour. But also time to reflect and celebrate on one of the best, if not the best, ever to play for the Blue and White. J.C. Carroll night tonight. Spectrum, his jersey number 20, will be put on permanent display up there on the north side near the press box area. Some of his former teammates are back in the building for the first time in many years. So this Carroll ceremony coming up at halftime, an important game, too, for Coach Ryan Odom and his team tonight.
We understand we've got a stiff challenge, but it's one that, our team feels we're up for, and, we're excited about the weekend, obviously, with one of our own going into the rafters, J.C. Carroll. He's around all the time, living back in the area, so it's really cool for our players to see that. And we're going to have former guys back, too, as well.
So, again, it's kind of interesting night, so we will center in on that in a moment or two. I understand even Sam Merrill and Namish Keita, with the NBA break and all of that going on, could even be in the building tonight, and that'd be exciting. But these two teams have thrown out the Mountain West preseason selections of the media and the coaches. Utah State was supposed to be 8th of 11 schools. Well, now they are 20-7, 9-5, and 4th place in the league into tonight. But the Wolfpack have done even better than that story. They were picked 9th in the preseason of 11. They're now 20-6 and only a game out of first place in the conference. They're perhaps the best team rolling right now. Their current 4-game victory streak actually opened with a 75-66 win over the league's top dog right now, San Diego State. First time around in Reno, January 13th. It was back and forth in the game, and then all of a sudden it turned to a blowout for Nevada with a 17-0 run in the last about 7 minutes of the game to win it 85-70. Stephen Ashworth had to play in it, and then after the game he had to talk about it.
In those last 8 minutes, we weren't the more connected, more physical, and more disciplined team, and I think that's where it hurts the most is you see a game where we didn't play perfect, but I felt like our effort was there. And you have a chance on the road, final 8 minutes to go and to get a road win, and it kind of just slips away.
Stephen Alford's team, I'll tell you what, they're real solid. They come in tonight, Steve Alford's team. Utah State is going to really have to have everything together to make, along with the J.C. Carroll night tonight, a night for all of us to remember at the end. Nevada and Utah State Aggies coming up, so let's delve into that as we get started. We say hi, everybody, to you along with Jalen Moore tonight for Aggie Game Day number 28 on the season. And our special sponsors tonight are Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's. And LSS Insurance for all your insurance needs just north of the Walmart in North Logan. Call 752-9493. Their webpage is terrific as well. First off, though, my friend Jalen Moore, you've been busy today. Tell us how it went down in Salt Lake City. I guess you were a presenter and then a celebrity. And was this connected to the NBA All-Star Game, or was it just something they put on the same weekend?
Yeah, actually, it was in conjunction with the All-Star Weekend that they do. There was some Meta World Peace was there, and some other, Instagram and Twitter influencers, TikTok people, and they did a mental health symposium that they had. Me and my dad, share my story and be able to help some high schoolers and some younger kids that were there, and then did a few competitions. 3-point. Chris Staples, that some people might know, that's a professional dunker, came out and did some cool dunks for the people to see. And then we did a celebrity game that me and Riley Knowles, actually, that, helps me coach at NLB. We both got to play in the game, so that was a cool experience with us to get out there and play with them. And Meta World Peace and guys like Flavor Flav and them actually stepped out there on the court with us. So we got to meet some cool people and get out there and play with some cool people as well.
Well, your story, again, overcoming the anxiety situation that kind of made you have to change your life a little or refocus, but you've done a great job. I continually compliment you all the time, Jalen. about trying to help young people to love basketball and love and handle life, because life is not hard or not easy for anybody, for sure. Okay, so we appreciate you very, very much. You are one of the all-time great people and players, but certainly your dad, Jimmy, is among that as well, and I'm glad to hear that he was a part of things tonight. Let's talk first J.C. Carroll. Not quite as local a guy as you, but I feel like kind of a close tie with the all-time leading scorer for the Utah State record books coming over here. And, of course, he is now finished off after a great pro career, mostly in Real Madrid and Spain. I mean, I guess it's time to put his number up there at the top of the spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. A long time coming. He's deserved this moment. I think it's awesome. I know it's going to be a packed house for that reason, but also because of the game that's going to take place. It's going to be a huge game. There's a lot riding on this game, and I don't think there's a better time to retire his jersey and put it up there in the rafters where it should be. And I remember all the times that I used to go to the home games as a kid and watch him, and watch the crowd and the way that the crowd would get fired up when he would, make big plays, make big shots. And I always told myself, I want to play here. I want to be like that, So it was awesome as a kid to be able to see that. And like I said, it's a long time coming from the career he had at Utah State. And as well going and playing professionally. I thought he had a really successful basketball career. We still stay in touch, and I'm glad he's back in the Valley. I think he's going to do some good things around here. And like I said, I think it's going to be a celebration tonight, and it could be a little bit more fuel for our guys for this big game. I think it's an awesome timing for it.
I hope it does add to that. Jalen, the guy had the greatest jump shot you could ever see. He really did.
Yeah, awesome jumper,
He exploded off the floor. He really did explode off the floor to shoot it.
He did. And you don't necessarily see that a ton. You kind of see some of the better shooters like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. They don't elevate super high on their shot. And, he used to, with his size, get up above some bigger defenders. He had a nice pull-up game. He could obviously stroke it from three. His mechanics were on point every time. And honestly, you were kind of surprised when he hit the rim when he made a shot. It was that pure.
They really were. An article recently described him as maybe one of the best, if not the best ever, NCAA shooters. A guy who was not a local guy wrote that article, and of course he now holds all the Aggie records, European records, shooting records. Okay, so like you said, you're hoping that his presence tonight adds to it, because we know for sure, Jalen Moore, if the Aggies are going to win this game tonight, they're going to have to score some points. The offense has got to get going against Nevada, because Nevada's got guys who can score points.
Yeah, they have to. And like we always touch on, too, our defense has to be there. And it was there for about a half first time we played them. But you get three guys that score over 20 points, you're not going to win any games in Division I basketball. So our defense has to be there. And like we always touch on, our defense really does fuel our offense. And, when we get going, we get confidence, the crowd gets into the game at home. Our guys really do fuel off of that, and we play really well. So I think our defense is going to be super key. But like you said, as good as our defense can be, they got a lot of guys that can break us down individually and can still score. So like you said, our offense has to be there. We got to shoot the ball well. We got to be aggressive. And like I always say, I think we got to be getting to the free throw line, and so we can get some extra points that way as well. We're
18-1 if we score 75 points. Now, 13-0 if we score 80 points. And Coach Odom the other night reacted to somebody telling him, hey, you scored 80 against Air Force, won the game.
Yeah, we never really lose confidence in our offense. Thought we obviously, against San Diego State had a really bad half. The first half was terrible, but you saw it as well as I did. It was a very disjointed half, and then we settled in and played and, began to score and found a way. And then, at San Jose, we missed some easy ones. We missed some shots, that we've been making at times, and you're going to have some of those. But our defense kept us in it. We were up at the end of that game and had a chance to win it, but it didn't go our way. I really couldn't care less whether we score 80 and win or score 52 and win. It's just a matter of us winning.
Again, that's what he said after the game. But again, the numbers would show that offense will be needed tonight, because Nevada's got some good season numbers in defense. They've been a little higher in conference play, as you would expect. But you've already hit on it, Jalen. Game in Reno, 28. Keenan Blackshear, 24, Will Baker. At that time, career highs for both of them. I think Baker's recently beaten that. But even Lucas had 21, and he seemed to kind of be in the shadows of that game. Both teams only had one conference loss going into that game that night. Utah State was up 42-37 at the half. and then no stops or buckets for long times. There was one time in the second half it went 10-0 after the Aggies had a 7-point lead, and then with that 17 minutes, and then we still were back ahead with about 8 minutes to go, and Nevada goes on that about 8-minute run of 17-0. So I asked the coach, was it us? Was it them in that first game?
It was some us, on offense. We took some hard shots during that stretch, and they made us pay quickly. We can't let that discourage us when they make some of those, because they have the ability to do that and run them off in bunches. And we've got to keep playing the game and keep contesting the right way and not overreact to some of that. I think it put a little bit more pressure on our offense, and we rushed some things as opposed to just sticking with it, make them have to guard us harder. I think we would have had maybe not a different result, but it would have been a closer result for sure, because they were scoring at the end. I mean, they were feeling it at that point, at the end of the game.
Those two stretches, Jalen, in that first game on January 13th, probably the worst we have had in conference play this year. And if we're going to beat one of these best teams in the league, you can't have those kind of stretches in games. You really can't.
No, we can't. We can't have any lulls defensively, and we can't go any offensive slumps. We really have to play a really solid game, and I think we will. I think we will at home. I think we know how big of a game this is, and we really have Boise and Nevada coming here. And for what we've talked about, obviously the San Jose loss didn't help us. These are two games where you can almost still secure a spot as an at-large bid if you really do go and take care of Nevada and Boise State, who are potentially teams that could get at-large bids. I think that Nevada will make it into the tournament. I know Boise State's kind of on the fence, and I know San Diego State is a sure lock. So these are teams that we're giving ourselves a chance to get an at-large bid, and as well just build that confidence going into the conference tournament. And we need that right now. And we played with them. We really did for about a half of the second half. We did play with them, but like you said, we just didn't do a good job defensively. We took some bad shots offensively, and they capitalized on that. And we got to not do that this game, because we know they have scores that can get hot in Lucas, Blackshear, and Will Baker. We got to do a job on the three of them for sure.
That's absolutely right. So Jalen and I will continue to talk about this game, a rematch of 5 weeks ago, and of course it's very important. This is the most important game really in the conference this weekend. J.C. Carroll night in the Spectrum tonight. His coach Stu Morrill, some of the former teammates and coaches are scheduled to be there.
Ultimately, I owe my career to that guy. He was the coach that offered me a scholarship. He's the coach that gave me an opportunity to play Division I basketball. He was a coach that said, hey, this freshman just got back from a mission, but it looks like he could contribute. And he gave me the minutes on the court.
And we'll have lots more on the Aggies in Nevada tonight on CBS Sports Network if you're not going at 6 o'clock, but you might miss a lot of the activities involving J.C. Carroll and all tonight at halftime. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat. Remember, they are accepting new patients in North Logan and Providence, along with the Allergy Clinic and Hearing Aid Center. And you can go to CacheValleyENT.com for more details. Young Truck and Trailer Center. Again, they're at 2900 South Highway 89 in the Valley, offering all makes of trailers and flatbed trucks. And Alpine Home Medical, again, Alpine Home Medical, what sets them apart, superior levels of quality service they provide for their customers out there on 14th North, 774-4500. And we'll be right back with more Game Day after
We're
this.
heading into some crazy weather this winter, which means power outages. Tyler and his team at Golden Spike Electric can install a Generac automatic standby generator for your home so you can avoid issues when the power goes out. If you have one already, Golden Spike Electric can maintain your Generac automatic standby generator for you. Find them online at gsegenerators.com or call 435-257-3016. Golden Spike Electric and Generac automatic standby generators. Power you can count on.
What's more important than sleep? Granted, some things are, but not many. This is Ryan at My Mattress, and here we offer the best solution to better sleep, a better mattress. IntelliBed, the gel mattress, cradles your hips and shoulders while providing the best back support possible. Or come in and choose a Tempur-Pedic that boasts 93% of their owners love their bed. My Mattress, offering the best sleep possible by the South Walmart.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is locally owned and operated inside the beautiful new Three Peaks Medical Plaza in North Logan. Expect the most cutting-edge techniques, qualified doctors, and friendly staff to ensure the highest quality patient care. The ENT providers have extensive training to properly treat ear, nose, and throat conditions for adults and children. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat serves all of northern Utah and southern Idaho, accepting most insurance products including SelectMed. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for appointments and details. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, located in North Logan and Providence.
Imagine your wedding day. Elegant, simple, yet stunning, stress-free. It's your day. It's all about you. Whether you're looking for small and simple or have a grander idea, the Riverwoods Conference Center will accommodate your every need. Choose the inside ballroom elegance or outside along the natural decor of the beautiful Logan River. A Riverwoods event planner will work personally with you to make sure your event is exactly how you've envisioned it. The Riverwoods Conference Center, where your happily ever after begins. Google Riverwoods Conference Center or call 750-5151.
Les Olson IT structured cabling is second to none. Tired of old and inefficient cabling? Have an upgrade or remodel planned? Building a new network from the ground up? We offer the very best in low voltage cabling installation, including data, phone, fiber optic, and more. Ask us how to get your free consultation today.
Les Olson IT.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by Young Truck and Trailer on News Talk KVNU.
Really proud of the guys and their ability to refocus after two hard losses. I mean, two really hard losses where it could have gone the other direction.
Because what the win did against Air Force on Tuesday night stopped the only losing streak of the season and, again, got them to 20 victories. 20 victories, still the magic number, I think, in, for sure as far as college basketball excellence. But our school 32 times, 23 NCAAs, 10 NITs, with a lot of those 20-year years. And, I know as I talked to Jalen Moore here, we've kind of discussed this a little bit, Jalen. One of the disappointments, obviously, and probably in your career, was not getting a chance to play, one of those postseason games. But, again, you get to 20, and now you've got this matchup. You've already kind of touched on it. If you beat a Nevada, if you can take care of the other games, again, do not forget Wyoming and UNLV, as evidenced by what happened last night, what's happening today in the conference. Again, you just have to play every single night in this league. And then if you've gone through and had a record of 11 or 12 conference wins, you probably deserve to be in the NCAA out of this league.
Yeah, for sure, And like I said, just with that San Jose loss, you're going to have to regain some of that trust in what you need from the NCAA committee, and that's going to come from proving that was a bad game and going out and beating a team like Nevada, or going out and taking care of business against Boise State. And obviously on the road, you got to take care of Wyoming and UNLV. Can't overlook those games. And those are two games that we absolutely have to have. I think, you beat a Nevada and maybe split these two games at home, or if you win both of them and finish the season outright like that, go into the high seed into the conference tournament, and obviously at least get to the semis, at least get to the final. I think our team has a chance of being an at-large bid if they don't win the tournament, obviously. If they win the tournament, obviously we're in. If not, I think that's kind of what we have to do to give ourselves to be a chance to be an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament.
Now, Coach Odom did say he believes his team deserves to be an NCAA team, but he says nobody's in right now. He keeps saying that. So I tried to pin him down yesterday, saying, come on. Isn't this the biggest game of the year so far? Because you got to beat a team in the quad one to show everybody that you're who you think you are and all.
I mean, they're all important. Yeah, I think it's like nobody's in right now, and you can't get in with one win. And so you want to win every game that you possibly can win at the end of the season like this. Like, our numbers are pretty good right now. You look at our quad 1, 2s, and 3s. Like, we're 15-5 in those. And there are not many teams in the country that are 15-5 in 1, 2, and 3. And I know we haven't won a quad 1. We haven't played that many. We played 4 total. But our 2s and 3s, we played a lot, and probably more than anybody in the country. And so we've challenged ourselves, top 100 and below, and have some really good wins. But again, we can't worry about that. We have to just take care of business and focus on each game as it comes. No different than Nevada needs to do. They have to do the same. So does San Diego State. So does New Mexico. So does Boise State. We realize we have a really tough conference, and every game is going to be hard. And so we can't get psyched out by that. We've just got to play the game, and it's a possession at a time for us.
And so it starts with this Nevada game, which is right there. So it does become the most important game, and we can put that out there. But, again, that's why I feel like this is one that you just kind of have to add to the resume. You really need to have one of those, even though they do have that good record he talked about among all the other teams. But, again, you've got, we got Wyoming coming up on Tuesday night. They lost to Air Force 75-69 last night as Highbreeder at Laramie scored 22 to win the game for Air Force. But how about New Mexico finally waking up after a 4-game losing streak? They wallop San Jose at San Jose 96-68, the way San Jose's been playing the last while with Vegas and with us. All of a sudden, see, here it comes. And guess what? Today, Colorado State trailed the whole game at Fresno, and guess who? If I was going to tell you who made the big shots in the game, who would you say for Colorado State?
I'm assuming it's Isaiah Stevens.
He made 2 jumpers, got him the lead. They made some free throws at the end, and they won 60-57 over Fresno State today. So that's the way it is in this league. So, again, Nevada, Wyoming, it really doesn't make any difference. The Aggies, I think, have to win most of the rest of their games to go on this season. So let's talk a little bit about Nevada. They were off, Jalen, on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. So they're very fresh coming into this game. They got their 20th win over Fresno State. And Fresno played them right. It was a minute and a half to go. It's like a 1-point game before they blew it out at the end, 77-66. Close contest. They're 13-0 at home. They've gone 5-5 on the road. And, Jalen, I'll tell you what. The guy who wins games for them, he won it at New Mexico. He's really taken over this team. I mean, even though he might not be the leading scorer, Keenan Blackshear is really, really a good player.
Yeah, he is a really good player. And he, like you said, and like I always tell people, kids I train and everything, it's not always about scoring, and that's what you get from him. Obviously, you get a good scorer, a guy that's capable of scoring, but he rebounds for the team, he facilitates, he defends, he talks. Those are all things that winners do. And you look at him and he's just a winner. He does what it takes to win games. Obviously, he gets Lucas in the right positions to shoot the shot, and he's very streaky. If he gets going like he did at Nevada, that could be a problem. So I think he's someone that we definitely have to keep an eye on as well. Obviously, we have to do a better job on Will Baker. He really hurt us in that game. And he's got good size. He's got good touch. He's a nice lefty big guy. But like you said, I think Blackshear is really the guy that makes their team go. And if we let him do what he did at Nevada and control that whole game, we're going to be in trouble, And we did a pretty decent job on him for a half. Second half came about, and he just came alive, and he started taking over that game. And he's the one that did a lot of those winning plays for him to pull away from us towards the end of that game.
He did. Baker kind of got it started because, again, remember in that game, and this is what the coach said yesterday to me, we got to have Trevin Dorius in the game against Baker.
We've got to go back and look at it. Baker was great. Trevin fouls out, and then Dan, we wanted Trevin playing against him majority of the night. Dan playing against Davidson off the bench. And when we had that flow in the first half, it worked. And then we thought about starting Dan in the second half, and we didn't do it. He ends up getting his fourth there, 2 or 3 minutes in.
And remember, he had his fourth foul there 2 or 3 minutes into the second half, Jalen. He had 13 points. He had big plays in both the first and second half. And then, of course, Baker kind of went off after that and really got it going in that game, which is interesting because, again, Baker, he'll take Trevin away from the basket because he can shoot threes, but at least Trevin's got the size to stay with him that Dan doesn't have.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what we need. Obviously, he can shoot threes. He made some nice post moves, and he did score on Dan a little bit because he just has that size advantage. It just makes sense, But the way that Trevin's been playing, and defensively, offensively, if he can hold that against Will Baker and kind of do enough to where they almost cancel each other out, and it kind of comes down to some guard play and what we do against Blackshear and what we do against Lucas. I do like our chances. Obviously, if we don't have good guard play and almost outplay their guards, and now Baker gets into the mix, now it's going to be a long night for us because they have a 3-headed monster that you can't stop. We got to get into them early. We got to do a good job defensively, and Trevin has to stay out of foul trouble because obviously he's going to play a little bit more this game if he's not in foul trouble, but he's got to give Dan a couple breaks and be able to use his length, not only against Baker, but also for our team as a whole to protect the rim at the same time.
I think you're right on with that rim protection as well. Remember the other night he had 17, a career high, and I don't know if you heard it after the game, but everybody was mentioning to him, you had 3 fouls at the half and you got none in the second half, Trevin.
Yes, fouling has been an issue for me in the past. And sometimes I get frustrated just because I feel like because I'm a bigger guy and you play a team like Air Force where the tallest guy is 6'7", it kind of just looks like I'm running through guys. So that was one thing that I hadn't really mentally prepared for. Just like refs will always call things that look like fouls. And a lot of times when you have 7 to 12 inches on a guy, a lot of things start to look like fouls. So just like knowing that going into the second half, I was like, I got to be careful, got to be smarter. Because I really want to play in this game, and I think it worked. I think it did work. Now remember, it was a shorter Air Force guy that he'll go up against as compared to Baker, but he and Shulga, again, Max Shulga, 29 points to help us get that 20th win. Max didn't talk after the game, but the coach says Max deserved that kind of night.
When you see him shoot like that, and he was confident into it, he's been working on it after practice. And we know that, and he's had a little bit of a stretch where he's missed some, that he obviously we all want him to make, and he's remained confident. His teammates have remained confident in him, and so it's great to see him play the way that he did today.
And I think, Jalen, the one key tonight for Max, besides hopefully he can score some more points like he did the other night, but he's big enough, maybe he can be the defender on Blackshear. Stopping him from going to the basket and doing all the things he does. He's probably going to have to be that guy, I would have to think.
Yeah, I think so too. Obviously, you might see Hamoda on him, try to use his length. Might see Sean as well to try to use his length and throw some different options at him. But I think Max is the guy for the job. I think, like you said, guard play is going to be super important in this game, and our guys are capable of playing as successful guards. They've shown it, and Nevada is too, and that's what makes the game so fun. We got good guard play. We got teams that defend. We got teams that can score, and that's what makes this game such a big game, such a winnable game for both teams. I think it really is going to be close, and it's going to come down to a lot of the little things that we mentioned. Obviously, we know rebounding is going to be a thing that takes a toll, and we have to do a job on that. And we've been getting out rebounded by some teams, so that's something that we got to also keep an eye on and as a key. But for the most part, I think it's going to come down if Trevin can stay healthy, and he, like I said, he can try to cancel out Will Baker and keep him in check. I really think it's going to come down to who's got the better guard play.
All right, so let's get your keys then. Brought to you by Prodigy Brewing, Cache Valley's first and only brew pub on Center Street. Great spot. Go watch the game tonight on TV and enjoy things. So what have you got tonight for the Aggies to win this game?
Yeah, obviously the first key, we've touched on it the whole time. We can't let multiple players hurt us. That is what won the game for Nevada in that first game. The first half we did a good job. Second half we didn't, And like we said, Lucas is very streaky. I would like to see us try to wear him out, make him tired like teams try to do to Stephen Ashworth. That's what you do to shooters, try to take some of that power out of their legs and make them start missing short. So I think we got to do a job on those three guys, Blackshear, Lucas, and Baker. We can't let the three of them hurt us like they did the first game. Number two, I think we have to handle their athleticism. And like I also said, we did that for a good first half at Nevada. We were up at halftime. Second half, they turned their pressure up. We turned the ball over a little bit. We let them get out in fast breaks, make some easy plays, shoot open threes. We can't let that happen this game. And number three, this also hurt us in that game. They got hot from three, especially Lucas, obviously. Like you said, a very streaky shooter. You let him start getting going, he's not going to miss a lot of those open looks. And then he starts building confidence where he hits some crazy hard threes. So we can't let them get going from three, obviously, because we know that we're going to have to keep them out of the paint. We're going to have to battle them inside. Now we just can't let them get hot from three, or else we could be in for a long night. So I think if we do those three things, we do come away with the win tonight, though.
And they said with J.C. Carroll night tonight, your coach, Stu Morrill, who got you to Utah State, is going to be there tonight. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's awesome. I haven't obviously stay in touch with him. I haven't seen him in a bit, but when the teams and the university's leading scorer and best player of all time is getting his jersey retired, I think you're going to see some people like that come back to see this. And like I said, it's a long time coming, and I thought it should have been done a little bit ago. I obviously know they wanted him to be done playing so he could be here. So I think it's a great time, and I think the timing is awesome that they did it for this game.
All right. Well, Jalen, you drive back carefully from Salt Lake, and we'll check, maybe try to give you a call after the game. We'll check your keys, okay?
Awesome. Sounds good.
All righty. Jalen Moore right there. And again, next, the great shooter, of course, J.C. Carroll. And now our shooter, Stephen Ashworth. I said, Stephen, you're getting some numbers kind of like J.C. got.
To be even mentioned in the same, sentences of shooting ability and playmaking ability as JC is something that is super humbling.
Stephen's the only guy in the nation right now who, again, has made at least 85 three-pointers and is shooting 45% from the field, 45% from three, and 80% from the foul line. He's exceeding all of that. Our game day brought to you tonight on KVNU by Advanced Fireplace and Stove. Again, remember, the state of Utah's Fireplace Changeout Program. They can help you navigate all the red tape on that. Riverwoods Conference Center, the Elements Restaurant ready for you tonight for a great meal. And anytime you have any special events or parties, that's a great spot to go. South end of Logan. Make sure you make your reservations there. And power you can count on from Golden Spike Electric. Again, if you ever have a power outage with the weather like we got right now, as cold as it is, it's tough for businesses, homes. They can help you with their Generac backup generators at Golden Spike Electric as we continue game day on KVNU.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. Medicare can seem complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Let us help. We'll answer all your questions and get you specific information that fits your needs. Medicare is not one size fits all. We'll help you find the right coverage for you. Call 752-9493. You can ignore the TV and the junk mail. We'll get you the exact information you need. We will help you access the benefits that are important to you. Call LSS Insurance at 752-9493.
Hey, did you drop the ball on Valentine's Day? If so, I can help you make up for it. This is Jarek from Jarek's Fine Jewelry. No matter where you're at in your relationship, we have something she'll love. Stop in and we'll help you pick her out a thoughtful yet inexpensive necklace, pair of earrings, bracelet, watch, or even if you're ready for the next step, with our selection of over 3,000 designs, we'll find her the perfect engagement ring. Even after Valentine's Day, it's all about the romance. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
Hi, this is Tyler. Recently, my father passed away, and White Pine provided the funeral services for our family. They were friendly, thoughtful, and attentive to every detail. It isn't often that a loved one passes away, so it was very important to my family that everything be handled just right. Because my dad was loved by so many people, we had a lot of family and friends that traveled from out of town. I really appreciate how White Pine Funeral Services made sure everyone was comfortable and that the focus was where it needed to be, on my dad and my family. They really took care of us during this tender time.
As a small business, achieving your financial goals and ambitions can be a steep and rocky mountain to climb. This is Brett Green, president of Cache Valley Bank. To conquer this mountain and achieve your goals, it takes planning, hard work, and discipline. At Cache Valley Bank, we have the resources, expertise, and flexibility to help you scale your way to success. Give us a call. Let's work together and climb the mountains that await. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
We're talking with Jeff at Daryl's Appliance. Why does Northern Utah choose Daryl's when they need to repair their appliances?
Our customers trust us to get the job done right. We have been repairing appliances for over 52 years. We also have our Under One Roof loyalty program where we discount the trip charge when you decide to buy new instead of the repair. Plus, our service calls and parts are guaranteed. Daryl's west on Airport Road, open till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 5 on Saturdays.
KVNU Game Day returns with Al Lewis.
I just got a phone call a couple months ago from Athletic Director Jerry Bovee and said, hey, it's our honor, and Utah State like to honor you by putting your jersey up in the rafters. And I was speechless, didn't quite know what to say, how to respond. And, what an awesome honor. I'm very, very humbled by that and looking forward to that night. It's going to be awesome.
It's here. J.C. Carroll night tonight. 15 seasons for the two-time All-American for the Aggies, since he was so much fun to watch play basketball for the Aggies, and he played full bore. He did. He possessed that fabulous, explosive jump shot we talked about. Just this week, he was honored for the second time, I guess, by the second home over there in Real Madrid. He was an International Legend Award winner. Went back there and got that. But after his title-winning and record-setting scoring and shooting career over there was done, of course, he comes back here, and we do get a chance, as Jalen said, to do this. He graduated from our school as the number one all-time scorer, 2,522 points. He is 325 points more than Sam Merrill, who's number two. And Coach Odom indicated he heard Sam Merrill will be there tonight as well. J.C. Carroll, the most games started. He has the most shots made, the most three-pointers made, the most double-figure scoring games in Aggie history, the most three-pointers in a season, the best ever 10 three-pointers in a game. He was 15 for 15 at the foul line once. That's the best ever. And he had the most freshman points scored. He's number 14 all-time even in rebounding, number 21 in assists, number 9 in steals, number 9 in free throws made, number 3 in games played, number 7 with the highest scoring average. His 22.7 average he had in his senior year of 2008 is the highest in the last 44 years of Aggie basketball. Now, recently, Eric Franson and Jason Walker on 106.9 The Fan, they have podcasts over there, and they do these Light the A podcasts about the Aggies. And they talked to J.C. Carroll, and here was just a short clip as Jason got the whole thing started with him.
I guess my question is, at what point in your life or career do you look up there and realize, you're aware of what you were doing at Utah State when you were doing it, setting records and accumulating eventually career points record. Like, at what point do you look up there and realize, my jersey might actually hang up there someday?
Yeah. I never thought about that stuff much as a player. I was really naive in those sense. That I just went out and played. I went out and competed, tried to do the best, tried to be the very best I could every single game, every single practice. I mean, I was competitive, and I never really thought or worried about those things. And honestly, it comes from my dad. As I was growing up, and I started to distinguish myself in basketball and in sports, he always said, "Hey, son, you need to stay humble. No matter what you end up doing, you need to be humble." And so I always kind of went with that mindset. And in high school, I never kept track of my points I scored. And the spectrum was harder because they put them on the scoreboard, so you look at the score, you can kind of see where you're at. But those were never things that I was chasing. Now, as I went throughout my career and got into the professional ranks and started playing and seeing the whole body of work that was starting to accumulate over, counting college and pros, over a 17-year basketball career post-high school, the thoughts started entering my mind a little bit. What is the criteria for a guy's name to be up there? And as I got back, I go to the spectrum, and awesome fans that we have there would start saying, "Hey, when's your name going up there? When's your name going up there?" And I just laugh and go, "I don't know," and I don't know how that happens. And so then the idea started creeping in my mind a little bit, right? Like, hey, maybe it could be.
So, again, you heard that he got the call eventually, and it was decided to do. He's joining Burt Cook, number 6, Cornell Green, number 24, Wayne Estes, number 33, Marv Roberts' 31 jersey, Greg Grant's number 5 at the top of the spectrum. This is a guy who had a huge scoring career at Evanston, Wyoming in high school. He wanted to go certain places to school. Those schools were not interested. He had to go around to other schools and see if there was an opportunity for him to play for them. He actually worked out with the Aggies players that were around. And I remember it was Brennan Ray who told Stu Morrill, I think the story goes, "Hey, we got to have him here." And we certainly are glad that he did because he comes back from that church mission and, again, has an Aggie career.
I look at my freshman year with the Spencer Nelsons, the Nate Harrises, the Cass Mateuses, and that was a year that I just was competing to find a spot on the team, competing to find out where I'd fit, and luckily they welcomed me. I was a piece that they needed. They had Spencer, you had Nate doing what they did, and I was very complimentary to what they were doing, and that's kind of what I was. I was a very good complimentary player that could come make some baskets when we needed it. My sophomore year was a year that I felt like I could have been better. I went through that year. I didn't have a bad season, but the feeling I had at the end of it was I have to get better. I have to improve. I got kind of lumped into this, hey, he's a shooter. He's a shooter. He's a three-point shooter. And I struggled when that was taken away from me. So I spent the next summer developing a mid-range game. That brought us to the 07-08 or 06-07 team that we're looking at right here on the wall. And I made the comment that team overachieved, and I really think we did. I think the team that was constructed at the beginning of the year had a real good chance to do things, but we just kind of had some players that didn't pan out. And we had some players that did elevate themselves to become more. Chris Clark was one of them. I don't think he wasn't supposed to be our starting point guard. It was Michael Watson. But Chris Clark earned that spot. We had Chris Sessions as our guard. Chad Spicer made some huge shots to win games. Steve Ducharme filled his role perfectly, and I felt like we overachieved that year for sure. It took a lot of effort, but we did. Then my senior year, it was great. We had everything there to be a really, really good NCAA tournament team. The only thing was we had some of those pieces were young still. Ty Wesley just back off a mission. It was Gary Wilkinson's first year as an Aggie. Chris Clark was a stud. Tyler Newbold had a great career. He was just a freshman as well. And so we just kind of had some pieces that fit in well and some pieces that still had to mature a little bit.
Those were a couple of the pieces out of the Light the A podcast. JC, Light the A. Make sure you check that out over at the Fans podcasts that they have available. And somebody told me that they actually released one with me last night or something like that. You can check that out as well as we talk about these retired players. I never saw Burt Cook play. Barely remember Cornell Green some in my younger days. But the rest of the guys have had a chance to watch and, of course, quite a few broadcasts for, or at least be around. And saw all the J.C. Carroll games. Fabulous player, all-time leading scorer, getting that jersey retired tonight. So we'll have some more from J.C. maybe as the Aggies go to Wyoming. Since he's from Wyoming, we'll do that Tuesday night on our game day for our next game at 6. Tonight is CBS Sports Network, or if you're not going for the Nevada-Utah State game. And a little more good stuff from J.C. Carroll coming up next, because we're going to talk to Stephen Ashworth about that. And Ashworth also knows that the Aggies, though, need to play better and win against a team that they felt like they kind of gave the game away in the first time around.
Felt like we had a lot of control in that game, and it kind of didn't go our way down the stretch. And so we're hoping to redeem ourselves and play a little bit better for the full 40 minutes and hopefully come out with a victory this time.
SC Needham Jewelers, state's oldest jewelry store. Remember all the great diamond engagement ring sets and other great jewelry and gift ideas at Needham's downtown. Daryl's Appliance in Benson, Maytag, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and more names of appliances are there at Daryl's Appliance. And Thermo Fisher Scientific, making the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. They all bring you game day right here. KVNU continues for tonight.
It's never too late or too cold to get rid of that old vehicle. Now is the time to earn extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204. That's 787-1204 today. See store for details.
This year, celebrate your anniversary with diamond jewelry from SC Needham Jewelers. Adorned in diamonds, she will feel elegant and cherished. Choose from a large selection of diamond bands, diamond pendants, and diamond earrings. Also, you'll enjoy a beautiful selection of diamonds mounted in rose gold. We price our diamond jewelry with an integrity price guarantee so that you can be assured the best possible value, with 12 months interest-free financing available. For the people and occasions that matter most, SC Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Nothing compares to the warmth and feel that a wood stove provides. The two-time Best of Northern Utah winning team says there's never been a better time to replace your old inefficient wood stove and install a new energy-efficient EPA-certified Vermont casting wood product in your home. The U.S. government is offering federal tax credits of 26% on your wood stove install. For Vermont casting units, that includes stoves, venting, and labor. Call or email Advanced Fireplace and Stove for a free in-home estimate. Call 435-752-7272 or go to advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
It's cold outside, but you can keep warm inside with a quality-built, super-efficient York furnace. Count on a furnace from York because it's backed by the strongest warranties available. It's just another way we install confidence. Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York dealer, at 752-7272. Online at advancedheating-ac.com. York, install confidence.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Aggie Game Day continues. Sponsored by SC Needham Jewelers on News Talk KVNU.
All right, Max, let's do it again. We got 4 more games regular season, and then we got the tournament, and hopefully a postseason tournament after that. Let's keep this ball rolling.
Gotta love the 7-footer, 7'1" guy from Midway, and Trevin Dorius, again, excited after his 17 the other night. Max Schulge with 29, both career highs. And, yeah, let's do it again. Max and Trevin and the Aggies tonight as they stopped that longest losing streak of the season and got to their 20th win. And, again, the way they did it, Trevin?
No, it's. I think what it comes down to is just playing Aggie basketball. We've shown time and time again that Aggie basketball, played the right way, can beat really, really good teams. And, we had 2 unfortunate losses within the last week. And I think it shows a lot of composure on our team's part that we come back and we're like, we're not going to let that stop us. We know it's the middle of February. This time of year can really hurt teams' morale. But God gave us a lot of props. We come out and we're excited to play. It's always fun to play with the fans that we have here in the Spectrum, and just play basketball the way we all know how to play.
Yeah, what's interesting is, again, the other night, Max Schulge had the huge game. It was Trevin that they had in. So, again, Max didn't get to talk about his big night of scoring. So, again, Trevin is a guy who likes to talk, and he did.
It's something that we've always known Max is capable of, and I hope that every team in the conference knows that that's what Max is capable of. And today really shows that he has a lot of confidence, and he's probably one of the most skilled guys on the floor at any given time. So watching him do that today was not a shock by any means, but just something that we're like, all right, Max, let's do it again. We got 4 more games regular season, and then we got the tournament, and hopefully a postseason tournament after that. Let's keep this ball rolling.
Yeah, there it is again. That great comment that he made. 2 career highs for the Aggies. There were 2 career highs for Nevada players the night that the Wolfpack beat us 85-70 back on the 13th of January. And then Baker now has 28 as a high. He had 24 against us there. My Aggie interview tonight features more of Stephen Ashworth, who is the number 4 3-point shooter in the country still, number 9 in making threes. 15.6 average, leads our team. He and Taylor Funk both had 15 at Reno in that earlier game. Dorius had 11. Sean Bairstow had 11. 9 for Max, 6 for Aiken, 1 point for R.J. Idlerock in those games. But 2 big blocks of time, 10-0 and then 17-0 Nevada. It was 28-21 the rest of the second half after we win after 42-37 at the half. But 48 was a Nevada opponent season high, and that the 48 they scored was an opponent season high for us this year, giving up 85 points, ties the most points we've given up. They shot 55.4%. It was the highest percentage all year long as I talked to Stephen about that game. Thinking about the first Nevada game, you guys looked like you were in control of that game, and then all of a sudden the drought, and it just completely flipped. Nevada may be playing better than almost anybody in the league right now, at least going into this week.
Yeah, they are definitely a team that's been playing really well. They have a knack for winning close, tough games, and I would give credit to that to their coaching staff and as well as their experience from a lot of senior leadership that they have on that squad. And so it's going to be a super fun atmosphere. We obviously have the retirement of J.C. Carroll's number, and so that's going to be a special night, and the energy is going to be electric. And so we just have to come out and make sure that we're focused and prepared. And like you mentioned, we felt like we had a lot of control in that game, and it kind of didn't go our way down the stretch. And so we're hoping to redeem ourselves and play a little bit better for the full 40 minutes and hopefully come out with a victory this time.
You just mentioned J.C. Carroll. A couple things real quick to finish up here, Stephen. You being compared to J.C. as a shooter, and have you thought about that? Have other people mentioned that to you? Have you checked out J.C. Carroll? What does that feel like?
I mean, it's definitely a huge honor. I'd even say possibly a dream come true to be mentioned in the likes of a great like J.C., especially from regard to the shooting ability. And it's something that I take pride in, is my ability to shoot the three-pointer and as well as just shoot with confidence from anywhere on the floor and be a playmaker. And obviously the eras were different and situations were different, but to be even mentioned in the same sentences of shooting ability and playmaking ability as JC is something that is super humbling and obviously as well motivating to make sure that I can keep playing at a high level like that and performing to make sure that I give our team the best chance for success. And so I've heard it here and there. Try not to focus on it too much, obviously, especially since it's in the middle of the season and don't really know exactly what all the comparisons are. But to hear it from, I guess, yourself in a way, secondhand is humbling and grateful for sure.
And then, Stephen, what has it been like? I mean, because you're now the mark guy. You can just tell every single game you're having to work so hard on defense against somebody else on the other side. But, boy, they're working hard against you on offense, aren't they?
Absolutely, for sure. It's definitely something that is different. I think it goes along with the motto that we have a lot, that pressure is a privilege. And so to be able to be defended in a lot of ways, face denied or double teamed off of screens, it definitely is a privilege. And I think that, when we're doing that to the other team's best player, it sends a message to him that we want the ball out of his hands, and we know how dangerous that player can be. And on the defensive end, I try to take as much pride as I can in being a great defender, even though I might be a little bit undersized. And so whether that's chasing guys off of ball screens or just pressuring the ball out on the perimeter, it definitely can take a toll on both ends, but making sure that I'm in peak physical condition so that I can not only chase guys off screens, but run guys off screens on the offensive end. It's something that's super fun. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely something that I've dreamed about being able to do as a college basketball player, is put myself in a situation where the coaching staff and my teammates feel like it's best for the team for me to have some of those opportunities. And so it's been a lot of fun, but it definitely can be tiring at times. And I think the other thing that we've seen from it is when I do get moved off the ball, we've seen how great Max Schulga and Sean Bairstow can be as playmakers with the ball in their hands, whether it's driving to the lane or facilitating. And so I think we're definitely finding some new ways to attack offensively, and I'm just really excited to see where else it can go.
Again, that's Stephen Ashworth, again, our Aggie player interview before tonight. Again, our shooter now, the all-time great shooter, J.C. Carroll, being honored at halftime tonight of this game in the Spectrum. SC Needham Jewelers starting lineup will continue to go. Again, the same lineup for Utah State: Dorius, Funk, also Schulga and Bairstow and Ashworth. And, of course, this has been a grind for the Aggies. Nevada just had 8 days off since they last played before they play tonight. For the Aggies, they haven't had, again, they played 2 games every week since they came back from Hawaii, because they had that opening bye when they had just come back from Hawaii on Tuesday before the league started, I think, on Wednesday, that first weekend. And Coach Odom on that yesterday?
Yeah, it's been tough. And then when you take Rylan out of the mix, he's been out of the mix since the Boise game. It changes the subbing and all of that. And so the starters end up a little bit more winded at times. And I think we've gotten a little bit better at subbing it recently and trying to keep those guys somewhat fresh. But there's always one guy that it's hard for me to get out, and he's dragging out there. And, we'll try to avoid that the best we can.
And Nevada's starters, again, we've mentioned the big 3, but, hey, this freshman, Darius Williams, is good. And then they've also got Coleman, and they've got guys off the bench that have played very well for, again, Coach Steve Alford's team. Coach Alford, incidentally, is the number 14 active winningest coach, 663 wins. Of course, the former Indiana star player, been at UCLA, New Mexico. He was at Iowa, Missouri State, Manchester in his coaching career. He's in his 4th year at Nevada. Great year they're having this year. Aggies need a big one tonight, and we'll get back and talk about this one tonight next with a coach.
It's a great matchup for both teams, and, we split last year, and obviously they got us in game 1 down there. So I think our guys will be ready. They're excited to play.
Alpine Home Medical has been around for over 25 years. Can you believe that? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. What keeps us coming to work every day? We're passionate about caring for you. From home and bathroom safety to transportation, mobility, recovery, oxygen, sleep, and more, come into any of our 10 locations today and let us take care of you. Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
The new Prodigy Brewing on Center Street in Logan offers an atmosphere that's vibrant, energetic, and friendly. Serving handmade juicy burgers, wood-fired pizzas, wings, nachos, and locally crafted beer while bringing a unique space to downtown Logan. Now offering lighter lunch options like personal-sized pizzas and sliders, or choose from your favorites like wings, beer cheese, fried pickles, and more. Stop by for a quick and delicious lunch that will get you back to work on time. Experience Prodigy Brewing, exceptional food, extraordinary service, and family-friendly on Center Street in downtown Logan.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
The Young Automotive Group is proud to announce Young Truck and Trailer Center in Cache Valley. Whether it's heavy equipment trailers, horse trailers, race car trailers, or cargo and utility trailers, we're excited to offer some of the finest trailers and flatbed work trucks to Cache Valley. Our team of experts look forward to helping you find the right truck or trailer to fit your needs, with competitive prices offered on every make and model for sale on our lot. With our extensive inventory, you'll find the best deals right here in Cache Valley. Young Truck and Trailer Center, just off Highway 89 in Logan. Think young, drive young.
I think I can. Do you feel like you're chugging up the inflation mountain? This is Zach with HSA Depot, and we can help. Did you know that you can save as much as 30% by using your pre-tax income to buy qualifying medical supplies? Health savings accounts can be used for more than just doctor visits and prescriptions. HSA Depot helps you conquer your inflation mountain and your health care by providing eligible products. Come to HSA Depot next to Sally Beauty and see how much you can save. HSA Depot, 5-star review.
More analysis and more previews of today's game. It's KVNU Game Day.
We have a really good team coming into the Spectrum. This weekend, Nevada, Coach Alford, his staff, done a great job all year. Played well at home. They played well on the road. They just had a great season all around. Challenge in a lot of different ways. Certainly, you look at Blackshear and the development that he's had over the course of his career and time at Nevada to transition to a totally different position and play the way that he's played and lead them, has been, for all of us in the conference, really impressive to see, but hard to play against.
Blackshear, 17 straight double-figure scoring games. He has gone to point guard, and he has been good. He won the New Mexico game at the last second shot. He is really kind of their leader. I mean, Lucas, the transfer from Oregon State, has really added into their team. Baker, of course, inside. Coach talked a little bit about this Lucas and how his addition.
They've added a sniper in Lucas who can really just score the ball. And he can score it off the catch. He can score it off the bounce. He, too, can get fouled. And he has a motor, like he's constantly going. And so he challenges your fitness level, and we're going to have to be ready to match that. And it's not going to be one guy that's going to be able to match that because he's an Energizer bunny. He's going at all times.
But again, it would have to be, probably Stephen more than likely, a smaller guy on them, and probably a bigger guy Blackshear is, with Shulga maybe getting him, or Bairstow, like we said. Les Olson Company brings you our coaches' comments before the game, your free assessment for your security situation at your business and your home, lesolson.com. You could check there as well. This is the number 5 free throw shooting team in the nation. And again, we got to keep Trevin Dorius on the floor and not fouling the big guy in Will Baker.
Yeah, no question. And they found him, and he made some hard shots too. I mean, he's running hooks and some different plays. But yeah, Trevin had a good game all around. He just got in foul trouble. So we want to try to limit that while not limiting his aggressiveness too. Like, he needs to play physical. Trevin has done that so far for us this year. And it's been really good for us.
And it seems like the game against Air Force the other night might have been the best for R.J. Idlerock down the stretch here, last few games of his career. With Rylan Jones, like we said, 12 straight games out. R.J., Coach, could he be big as he was on against Air Force?
We have to. Yeah, we have to. Obviously with Rylan out now, I mean, you could see the guys are getting worn down, right, having to play that many minutes. And R.J.'s a veteran. And started every game last year that he was available for. RJ knows how to play against this defense because he did it 3 times last year. And, he's starting to play, more confidently. And part of that is just me putting him out there more, right? If you don't get many minutes, it's hard to really impact the game in a big way in limited minutes. And so I'm trying to get him out there more so we've got him down the stretch. And, he's certainly... the guys love him. He's an important player for us for sure.
Here's my Cache Valley Bank pregame stat of the night. Get ahead of the Wolfpack. They are plus 94 on the opponents in the last 5 minutes of games this year. That's the scoring margin they've had. So there is a big, big stat in this game. Again, these teams play the 66th ever meeting. It's 23-6 Utah State and Logan. Nevada, though, won last year, and it was Desmond Cambridge who had big plays against them last year. Right now, Arizona State with 13 seconds to go. Cambridge playing with his brother down there in a transfer, leading the University of Utah. Coach Smith's team, Wooster has 5 and Anthony has 12, but they're losing in that game. We mentioned earlier, Colorado State beat Fresno State today in the conference. Tomorrow, Boise State is playing UNLV in an evening game tomorrow night. But this is the big one tonight. The game that was here in 2019, remember how heated that game was? Coach Musselman's team from Nevada. That was the biggest crowd we'd had in years, and tonight will probably be the biggest announced crowd of the year. So there'll be a lot of things to talk about postgame. We want you to call in. We want you to text in. Our postgame will start immediately after the game. If you're not going, it's on CBS Sports Network. As soon as the game is over on TV, we're back on with our postgame Aggie Call program for the sponsors and for Jalen Moore postgame. Al Lewis, thanks for joining with us. And go Aggies in a big one tonight. Need to beat Nevada in this game in the Spectrum and J.C. Carroll night.
Covering all the news. Stay with 610 AM and 102.1 FM. Breaking news and stimulating talk. News Talk KVNU.